Okay. This is what I really, it kind of boggles me a little bit. Kind of boggles me, right? Here's the thing. Church. Now, for those that study scripture and those that take each thing that they learn and each thing that they hear and they question it, and we all come to the agreement that when they use the word church in the Bible, it never was a building, right? So, since church was never a building, well, if you believe that church is a building, you could go ahead and turn this video now because you still in the dark. You still don't understand. But if you agree that the church is not a building, keep listening. Because I'm about to talk about something that you could probably relate to, right? Now, here's the thing that I don't understand. People who follow a religion, they want to please God, right? They want to find God. They want to be blessed. They want to live a godly, good life, right? But how come, even though we know that the church is not a building, we still go to church every Sunday? Now, you know, church is not a building, but we still going to church every Sunday and we still calling it church. Now, if you look at this realistically, not making up no excuses, but realistically, what are we doing when we continue to do things that are not right? What are we doing when we continue to follow these types of patterns? What are we doing when we continue to exercise these ideas created by man? What are we actually doing? Are we doing anything good for people? Is our activities godly? Or are we still in the dark? See, we've been brainwashed for so long that we cannot let the whole idea of church go. We cannot let it go. We do not feel like we're doing what we're supposed to do unless we go to this building that man calls church. See, the more we keep continuing to do what man told us to do and go to this place that man called church, we continue to live the life that man put here for us to live. Man created that building to control us. Man created that religion to give us idea of what God is, but they don't even have a clue what God is. But we keep on going to this building every Sunday, calling it church. We keep on putting on these clothes every Sunday, calling it our church clothes. We put on our makeup, we put on our perfume, we put on our suits, we match it from head to toe. We got the gator boots, the gator shoes, the whatever kind of hat. We taking our pictures, posting up on Facebook, on social media, on Instagram. Church flow. Church flow. We all living a lie. You understand? Do you understand what you're doing? You're living a lie. You're promoting a lie. If church was never intended to be a building, yet we still go to it every Sunday, then what we're doing is not spiritual. What we're doing is not godly. What we're doing is following an idea created by man. Don't call yourself Christian or a woman of God or a man of God just because you go to a building on Sunday. That whole thing is a lie. Yet we still do it. You know that church was never a building, but you still go to it and you still call it a church. You are responsible for promoting a lie. It's no excuses. That's the reality of it. That's the truth. And that's factual. If you believe that church is not a building, then you should never be going to a building called the church. How could you know that church is not a building, but you still go to it? This is what I'm trying to get to you. This is what I'm trying to get through to you. You know that church is not a building, right? With a cross on top, right? It's not a building. But you say, I'm going to church. But you go to church and you call it church. You give your money to the church to build the building, to pay the bills in the building. But is this even about God, or is it about the building? It's about the building, because you're going there. You're promoting the building. You go to the building. You're paying for the building. And you are responsible for continuing a lie. You're responsible for creating and maintaining the idea of church being a building. Everybody that go to church is responsible for maintaining the idea of church being a building. Now, if you know that church is not a building, then you shouldn't be going to church and calling that church you go to church, especially if it's a building. I'm just saying. We continue to keep doing the things that we say. We keep getting revelation of things that are supposed to set us free from man's idea of how we should be, but we're not walking the walk that we talk. We're not doing the things that are true. We are doing the things that are religious. We are doing the things that are comfortable. We are still following the pattern. It's a pattern still. Even though it's a preacher in the pulpit and people praising God and singing songs, that don't mean it's okay. If the whole idea and the whole foundation of it is wrong, then everything in it is wrong. If I say that this building is church and you should come here and worship, you should come here and praise, you should come here and give your money and all this stuff. If I say that you should be here and I'm calling it church and I'm supposed to be the leader and I'm the leader of the church, then I'm a lie too. How am I a leader of a building? How am I a leader of people? People need to be leaders of themselves. It should never be a person in charge of people. We don't need no grown people don't need another grown people to guide them. Grown people need to find their way and guide their children. And when their children get mature enough to take care of themselves, then they do the same thing over and over again. But we have created this thing called the church, which has handicapped people. Because the people are waiting for the preacher to give them the key to God when God already gave us access to God anyway. We don't need nobody to tell us that. All you got to do is believe that. You don't need to go and get no hands laid on or no oil laid on and all this stuff. All you got to do is just know that you're here for a purpose. You can do anything you put your mind to. What goes up must come down. There's bad and there's good. There's consequences and repercussions. There is a higher power. We call it God. But those are the only things that we need to know. And we got to get out of that going to church, calling the church, calling the building a building. It's not. Church was never a building, but we still go to that building, dog. I don't go to the building no more. And I'm not trying to tell nobody else to not go to the building, but why do you go to the building if you know that the building is not a church? And I'm out.